Now let's take those techniques we learned at the photo studio and take them back to our house here and photograph our artwork. When we're photographing children's artwork or family heirloom photographs, we want to make sure that we give them the same respect as we would photograph a famous piece like Matisse or Picasso. This way we can use those same techniques we learned to get a great copy. Now let's go with some of the key steps. One, you got to make sure that you find an open shade area around your house. Like we are right now, this is a nice even open shade. Now the second thing we're going to do is to mount our artwork on a foam core and make sure that it's nice and flat. Now we need to use a tripod to make sure we have that stability. When we take that photograph, we want a nice sharp image. Now we have to make sure that our artwork is at the same height as our lens. And the way we do this is we use that measuring tape that we had at the beginning of the show. We measure from the ground up to the center of the art, and then from the ground to the center of the lens, and you should end up with the same number. Now we want to make sure that our artwork is leveled and parallel, and we're going to use a leveler to make sure that happens. Now the way to do it is to put the level on top of the artwork and then flat up against it to make sure it's parallel. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for our camera. We're going to put our level up on top, make sure that it's leveled, and then put it on the plane and make sure that it's parallel. Now we have to make sure that the flash unit in our camera is turned off. So take a look at that flash unit and make sure your camera has the ability to turn off the flash, because if not, we're going to get a hot spot on our artwork. Now when we're setting our ISO on a point and shoot, we got to make sure that if we're set on automatic, it will choose the ISO for us. So if you have a function to put it on manual, choose the lowest ISO. This way we have the least amount of digital noise. One of the pitfalls that a lot of people make when they copy artwork is that they get too close to their artwork. So give yourself some room, frame out your image, and make sure when you use your zoom lens, you're somewhere in the middle of your zoom. And leave a little bit of room on top and on the side so you have ample amount of room. To add to that, we want to make sure when we change our artwork, say we get bigger, then we physically have to move our tripod back to adjust for the framing. Now you probably think I forgot about the histograms. I didn't forget about them. But since it's a point and shoot, sometimes you might not look at it. But if you really want to be really detailed, point and shoots do have histograms, and they're great to look at to make sure your exposure is right on. Now I want to finish copying my son's artwork, because the great thing about making great copies is you can make great books. And I'm going to have a great book for him of all his childhood memories next week on his birthday.
So don't let your refrigerator be your child's art gallery anymore, because now you have the proper tools and understanding on how to photograph their artwork.
And you could share their talents with the world by creating these great photo books online. Hey Ken, did you know that I photographed that painting with the point and shoot that we did yesterday?
Santino, that looks really good. So for the best tips about your digital photography, look to us here on D1to1.
Where digital photography is made simple.